In-game progression changes are pretty major. Hello everybody, welcome to an interesting video, of course, following on from the announcements on Friday, which I don't know if you saw. It kind of changes up the way that we progress in-game, what seems to be, well, not forever, but this is a very good thing, but also financially could be a very beneficial thing for Kabam. Okay? So you can see on screen right now, this is the alternate progression paths. I had a bit of a kind of like chat about this in my recap video, where it was a point that I made about 5 years ago, which has actually been proven to be correct. Look, I don't get it right all the time. A lot of the time I do get it wrong. But when I do get it right, it is quite interesting to see like what exactly, if I have like an out there point or opinion, it's always interesting whether I get proven right or proven wrong, especially when it comes to Kabam. So one of the things I did say back then, when I attended New York Comic Con 2019, I saw people picking up the game for the first time and thrashing on the screen like a... well, just, I don't know how to describe it. And effectively weren't doing very well, and, you know, they got KO'd. And that made me think, like, all these people that were queuing up to get a freebie or basically picked up the game, didn't understand what they were doing. No one from Kabam was able to give them any time to kind of, like, teach them through it because they were very busy at the time. But that was a lost player. A player picked it up for a moment when... I can't do this, or I didn't do this particularly well, and went, pass. And you think of all those particular potential players were lost. I guess the same way that you could look at Marvel Contest Champions. If you're a new player to the game, by the way, if you're a new player to the game, welcome. Please do not ever feel discouraged. It will take time to learn some of the basics and get there, but you will do, and you'll be several years down the line, and you'll be thinking like, wow, I can't believe I learned how to play better, or I understood how to play better. It will take time, but you'll get there. 100% you'll get there. But the progression in game is something as well. If you get to a certain point going, do you know what, I can't really get any further, then you'll give up on the process and the progression that goes towards getting there. And Kabam see this. They literally will see the data. I think one of the telltale signs is on the Discord as to the extent of people of a different progression. There's a lot of people that are higher up progression, and that's great. But there's a lot of people that are there's a lot fewer people that are on the lower end of that progression scale. I'll just kind of show you the example of this one, which is here. Now it could be like, okay, of the 19,000 summoners, like these are the breakdowns right here. There's a high volume of people that are Cavalier, then there are Thronebreaker, which is a very startling thing, and the same thing with lower progressions. And I'm not saying that the people are, there's what is it? You could say, are there a lot more people in the community unfound? Because look, if only 19,000 people are interacting here, then where are the rest of the community? Are they of lower progression? Are they of, you know, inactive accounts? There's a lot of things to that as to, well, the situation with anybody. But look, also when it comes to like the situation of not making progress, there are people with, you know, disabilities, and we've covered that on the channel in an MCN years ago, where somebody was with disability and could not get through certain bits of content. As a result, there's people with arthritis, there's people with other ailments that are unable to make any progress. There could be people that have had, you know, if you have an accident, like I'm always very kind of like dubious. Like if I have any like accidents with my fingers or hands, then I can't play the game. Even like getting a cut on your thumb is kind of like annoying when it comes to like swiping and tapping and stuff. It's just quite difficult. But those that were looking for progress have got it. But is it easy to come by? Look, we'll give you an example of stuff right at the moment. So, on a good example is M's account, which we're going to reference in this video. So, M's account, which is here, is a uncollected account. She is 2 quests away from doing from being Cavalier, but it's like she's got her own life and things to do. You know, that's it. She's a casual player of the game. A lot of other people are casual players to the game, but she's 2 quests away from becoming Cavalier. But funnily enough, she has 5 6-star rank 3 champions. aided by something which is next level to helping out. Now, we'll talk about that in a second. She is now going to be, as a result of this, Cavalier. Now, I'm not sure if this goes live next week, but she instantly becomes Cavalier by proxy. That's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous, but it's not ridiculous. Kabam have said, and I do agree with this, that we need to get players, yes, difficult content, but we need to get people up into different progressions and getting further with the game. Number one, because so they can get better stuff. Number two, because people need to go away from that kind of like, I've got to difficult content and I'm stopping. Like getting to Act 6, Chapter 4 and going, nah, no more. And that's a problem, because then that's issue of Kabam aren't building a community and they are not, and everyone's stagnating. By the way, through this video, if you've heard an air horn, that's not my intent. I've clicked the button on my Steam Deck and I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, hopefully you haven't heard that. Anyway, progress. That's the big thing about making progress. Spending. Spending will make that progress. That will bypass you. And I'm not saying that players do or don't have this, but the access to this is likely behind either selling a load of tier 4 class catalyst, or it's spending in order to get there, which of course will increase the extent of like what Kabam could earn. You may be able to, in some regards, go to... No, it's a rank 3. I was going to try and find an example. I don't think Kabam have got it, where you can upgrade and get them up to like further ranks. But yeah, like if you just click on some of the... well, it's not saying there, but where you can find the catalyst. But you know what I mean. Like there's access to stuff where you can find information of where to kind of like get some of those. But for looking at this in a certain way, it's going to be events. Like events are going to be where you can make some quick gains. If you're a player looking at potential future and making that jump from uncollected to Cavalier or Cavalier to Thronebreaker, Banquet events, first off, like if you are like, well, it's going to be difficult for me to actually get to these levels that other players have. Well, this is why saving up for a good chunk of the year right now will likely give you a better chance to get things like Tier 3 Alpha, Tier 6 Basic, Tier 5 class Catalyst selectors, and that will be, yeah, beneficial. We've also got a Omega Days. Now, I'm working through at the moment my Omega Days guide, which is kind of getting there. But look, just by simply investing a good chunk of units, like 5,700, because me and him went over this a moment ago, you could get up to milestone, I think this is milestone like 20 maybe, or up to like 100, and also, 2 Tier 3 Alpha and 2 Tier 6 Basic Catalysts. And FYI, if you are looking to get up to Thronebreaker, just like that, then it will be 15 Tier 3 Alpha and 15 Tier 5 Basic to get up to that particular point. To get that I'm pretty certain it is actually. Yeah, so it's 3 of each. Yeah, so it's 3 of each, Tier 3 Alpha and Tier 6 Basic. You need 15. To give you an idea, like Emma's got the opportunity to get a rank 1, rank 4, 6-star. She's only uncollected. So she needs 4 more. So it's 12. So where does she get that from? Likely, because it's very difficult to get that, and also the Tier 5 and the Tier 5 class Catalyst, it's going to be a saving up for this year. Banquet event. I don't think they'll offer it at Cyber Weekend, so it's a Banquet event and Omega Days to get at least a chance at rank 4ing, not rank 4ing, but getting the Tier 3 Alpha and Tier 6 Basic. Excuse me, required hiccups. But even from like a Banquet event perspective, milestones wise, like last year gave a small... Oh, that's the Alliance. The Alliance gave it a small amount of Tier 3 Alpha and Tier 6 Basic from the solo side of things. Have I missed the solo? Not accolades. You get from the Crystal, but also from the solo, which is here. Yeah, it is here. From the solo, and this will probably be buffed next year. You'll probably get like more Tier 3 Alpha, more Tier 6 Basic, but there's one of each right there. And of course, the further you go, Tier 5. Is there any Tier 5 class Catalyst in this one? Not that I can see. But yeah, at least it gives you an idea. It is possible to get there. It changes things a lot. Buying things with units will probably get you there if you wanted to avoid that content. So it's not exactly easy to do. It's just highly likely that you'll, number one, have to get yourself involved with side quests much more frequently. Number two, start off with Cavalier as a strong basis to then make gains. Whether or not that is side quest or whether or not that's other bits of content that come up from time to time. Incursions, maybe if you can do it. And a few other areas as well. Getting a better glory store, that's going to be another thing. Glory store is going to be one of the biggest things to get tier 5 class catalysts. And as well access to tier 3 alpha if you're able to do it. So yeah, like it is. And also any other store that appears, whether or not it's the trader's store, trader's outlet, whether or not it's like, you know, yeah, loyalty, battlegrounds as well. Look, if there is even a shred or kind of like slither of tier 3 alpha, tier 5 class catalyst or tier 6 basic, you got to go for it, because it could mean that you'll easily, without having to do much effort, just get right up there when it comes to getting a new progression. So this is really big for the game, really important for Kabam and say the future of kind of retaining people. And that's the big thing, growing a community, retaining those people. Kabam have seen the data, they know there's a pain point, and this is the pain point. And also there's probably a way that they can make some money from it. But in any case, that has been a video. Thank you very much for watching. Check out some other content and what's your thoughts on the matter. Put it in the comment section. I'll see you soon. Much love and goodbye.